So we're arresting far-right 11-year-old children now, are we?
The Arthur Cavendish Show.
What does that police officer who goes there on a dawn raid on an 11-year-old's house, gets him out of bed and arrests him for being naughty on the internet? When he goes home, this police officer to his wife, "How was your day, love?" "Oh, it was okay. What did you do?" "Oh, I executed a dawn raid on an 11-year-old and carted him away like a common criminal, probably ruining his life in the process." "Oh, that's wonderful. I'm sure you're going to sleep like a fucking baby tonight." Some of the outrageous convictions that have come down on the so-called rioters, far-right rioters. This got me fucking fuming, fam, fuming. Right, I'll start with, and this has been broken down by every town and city in the country. Every single person has been named, shamed. It's got their ages, what they're alleged to have done, and the sentences. I'll start off with Rotherham, seeing as we all know that for the last 20, 30, possibly even 40 years, horrendous crimes have occurred in Rotherham. Nobody's been really brought to justice until the last 10 years. They never give them their age or what they're alleged exactly to have done. But anyway, here we go. This is the Rotherham rioters' convictions. There's a man here. I'm not going to name him. I'm not even going to show his face. I'm going to blur it. But it says 2 years in prison, and this man filmed a riot on Snapchat and then was bitten in the arse by a police dog and said, "Why are you refusing to take an Englishman to hospital?" 2 years. Here's another young man convicted of violent disorder. What he did, in fact, was punch the side of a police van. He just, in the heat of the moment, he punches the side of a police van. He gets 2 years and 4 months behind bars. If that doesn't outrage you, then I don't know what will. And so it goes on. Another man in Rotherham convicted for 2 years and 8 months behind bars simply for grabbing a police officer's riot shield. Just grabbing a riot shield. And you're going away for over 2 years. Well done, well done. The police must be so proud of themselves. Another man sentenced to 3 years in prison for charging at police officers and trying to grab a riot shield. 3 years simply for charging in the heat of the moment and grabbing a riot shield. Another man, 2 years and 6 months in prison for pushing at the police line, pushing towards a police line. I'm sorry, but we used to do that at football. I don't remember going down for 2 years for pushing a few dibble at the football. But for some reason, this man has lost 2 years of his life simply for pushing at a police line, probably with hundreds of people behind him pushing him into them. But that doesn't matter. As long as we make an example of them, as long as we crack down on the far right, that's all that matters, isn't it? 2 years and 8 months in prison for shouting scum at the police. Shouting scum, a hurty word coming out of a man's mouth when tensions and emotions are high. He shouts scum and he's sentenced to 2 years and 8 months in prison. I'm ashamed to be British, chaps. I'm ashamed to be British. And here's another poor chap convicted for 3 years in prison for rocking a police van and shouting Tommy Robinson. Rocking a police van and shouting Tommy Robinson in the heat of a riot. 3 years. And that's just Rotherham. That's just a few of the people convicted in Rotherham alone. And this happened in every town and city up and down the country. If I was going to list the awful, heavy-handed convictions handed down to these patriots nationally, this video would probably go on for 2 or 3 hours. So I'll keep it short. I'll just give you an example from a few other places in the country. Here's a small sample of some of the Southport convictions. One man here chanted, "Who the f*** is Allah?" in a large and aggressive mob while wearing a fluorescent yellow t-shirt and sunglasses. He shouted, "Who the is Allah?" wearing a fluorescent t-shirt and sunglasses, and that earned him 2 years and 2 months behind bars. Well done, the police. Well done for keeping us safe from the hurty words. Here we have a 43-year-old female convicted for 2.5 years in prison for being described as very drunk and angry during the march. So being very drunk and angry about the state of your nation deserves 2.5 years in prison, does it? Does it? Really? Again in Sunderland, a 38-year-old man, 2 years and 2 months for throwing a beer can at riot police. Throwing a can of beer gets you over 2 years in jail in the UK in 2024 under Starmer's totalitarian, soon-to-be communist regime. And in Hull, a 35-year-old man is convicted for 2 years and 8 months in prison for stealing a riot shield. Stealing a riot shield gets you 2 years and 8 months in clink. Well done, the police. Well done. Also in Hull, a 56-year-old man was convicted of violent disorder, got 1 year and 8 months in prison when he was simply in town buying a funeral suit when he became involved in the riots and used a bicycle to fend off a police dog. I'm sorry, but if I've got a police dog snapping at my heels and all I have is a bicycle, I'm going to damn well use it. Oh, but 1 year, 8 months in prison for defending yourself against a rabid animal. Well done, the police. Well done, the judicial system. I'm sure you're ultra proud of yourselves. A 36-year-old man from Hull, 2 years and 3 months in prison for throwing missiles at police, but mainly the biggest crime of all was taking a selfie with a stolen riot shield. Taking a fucking selfie with a stolen riot shield will take 2 years of your life away from you in Starmer's Britain. Wonderful. Now on to Hartlepool. A 54-year-old man received 2 years and 2 months behind bars for shouting in officers' faces, and then he was hit on the leg by a baton. So he shouted at them, he got twatted by the police, and he goes to jail for 2 years and 2 months. Well done, police. And in London, in Whitehall, we have a 67-year-old man, 67 years old, in a crowd of 700 people who took part in Islamophobic chanting. So for being in a crowd of 700 people that were allegedly chanting Islamophobic things, he's looking at 1 year and 8 months in prison. A 67-year-old man amongst 700 people chanting. I mean, what fucking clown world are we living in, chaps? In Bristol, a 34-year-old man was jailed for 1 year and 8 months for threatening counter-protesters and shouting in the face of police dogs. Shouting at dogs. Shouting at dogs will get you a custodial sentence in the UK in 2024. Let that sink in. So anyway, chaps, you get the general idea. Sad state of affairs when otherwise law-abiding British citizens are losing years of liberty for reacting emotionally in crowds, doing silly things which I'm sure could have been settled with fines or community orders or what the hell else. And the fact that now people are being dragged out of their homes for what they're saying online. This is really rather dystopian and very, very concerning. I'm not in the UK at the moment. I feel sorry for my brothers and sisters over there. I hope that, you get through this. France is getting there. It's not much better, to be honest with you. The migrant situation is crazy. There's groups of sub-Saharan fighting-age African men all over this country, in every town and city, same as in the UK. Don't get the idea that every migrant in Europe is coming to the UK. They're not. It's only a fraction of them. We have the hotel thing here too. Millions and millions every day being spent housing new arrivals. This is a European stroke global plan. Call it the Great Replacement if you wish. There's lots of different schools of thought onto why these globalists are doing this, but you want to have a look at. Yesterday we had Keir Starmer brown-nosing Emmanuel Macron, the French president. They're doing that because they are World Economic Forum bum chums, bum buddies, whatever you want to call it. So was Sunak. So are most of the people that are pushing this agenda. I think history will judge this really severely. I think that our grandchildren will ask, Grandad, what did you do to stop this happening? Grandad, why am I wearing a fucking burqa? Well, because we tried to stand up and we were smashed by the communist, Marxist fucking wankers. Starmer, you are a fucking joyless, charismaless automaton. An absolute brainwashed fucking fool.
The Arthur Cavendish Show.
Chandelier swing when Arthur stepped in the ring. Posh boy vibes, but he still bring the sting.